The views and opinions expressed in the Distracted Librarians podcast do not necessarily reflect those of Bloomfield Township Public Library, Bloomfield Community Television, the Birmingham Area Cable Board, or its producers or production staff.
Hello and welcome. We're the Distracted Librarians, your friendly neighborhood bookworms who can't resist the siren call of movies, video games, music, and everything else in the pop culture universe.
Think of this podcast as a digital campfire where we share our latest obsessions, analyze the hidden depths of our favorite distractions, and maybe rediscover the joy of reading in between.
So, if you're a fellow media junkie, a book lover, or someone looking for a fun, engaging escape from your daily grind, you've come to the right place.
Sit back, relax, and prepare to get delightfully distracted with us.
Hey everybody, today we're going to talk about guilty pleasures. What do we mean by guilty pleasures?
And why are we guilty about them?
Yeah, that's the real question.
This is the two-part question, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's a term that people use. I don't really like it that much.
It feels really like we're trying to shame people for liking things, and that seems silly to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's usually... Go ahead.
Well, as someone who has in the past felt shame for liking things, it's not a good feeling.
I was just going to say that, too. Like, shame was the word I was going to use. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I think people tend to use it when they're talking about things they feel like they shouldn't like for some reason, but they do. I think that's the gist of it. Whether it's because it's something that they're too old for, or like it's not good enough, or whatever. I think there's a lot of reasons people can consider something a guilty pleasure. Mm-hmm. But again, if you like something, like, should you feel guilty about it?
Well, let's talk about nostalgia guilty pleasures. So, talking like, how did we play, read, or watch as kids that we just can't let go of?
Oh, almost anything. I'm embarrassed about this. It's probably, I hope it's more common than I realize, but listening to or reading the same thing over and over for like a long time. Like listening to music is the best example for me, where I'll put on an album and I'll listen to it and I just start it again and listen to it and start it again for months. Mm-hmm. It's weird, I feel.
I don't think that's weird.
I don't think that's weird. With Spotify Wrapped being a thing now, I became very aware last year of the fact that, this song that I was introduced to in, I think it was March, that I listened to for a few months while we finished out our D&D campaign, because it was a song that someone was like, hey, this is your D&D character. Mm-hmm. I listened to it enough that it was like second or third on my most listened to songs of the year in a few months.
Wow.
Oh, yeah.
And it was one song. Yeah. Because I just would put it on repeat.
Yeah. So, I mean, even like way back when, I guess, like when I was still using iTunes on my laptop, there were a couple of songs that just like, you've listened to this 500 times. Like, oh, thanks for letting me know that. Yep. Like, and tell everyone. It's just, it's the same thing. It's weird.
95% of my listening to music is the same 20-song playlist. Yeah. And I don't like it to get above 20 songs. So when I add something new to it, I'll take something off of it.
No. It's 20. 20 is the cap for a playlist. It must be 20.
But
I agree.
Every time you're in my car, every time I'm in my car, that's what's playing.
Yeah.
I'm always looking for like the album, like the whole album that I want to listen to over and over again. It doesn't happen as often as it used to. Yeah. I have so as a grunge kid,
yes.
I mean, the Seattle scene, all of that, those are albums that I still will listen to from front to back over and over again without any question whatsoever. Yeah. But like a modern 2024 album that comes out that gives me the feels like that, hard to find.
It has to be someone I know, or it has to be like a genre or a sound that I am familiar with. Like the best example of this currently is Hozier's most recent album, Unreal on Earth, which I listened to on my way to work this morning.
As you should.
And his first album came out in 2014, so 10 years ago. But like that's the same. Like I met Hosier's music in 2014, so it's fine. Like, and it's. But I agree with you. It's that like new material. Like to meet a new musician or to meet an. It's just like I don't know you. I can't. No. Like it's.
We haven't been introduced.
I don't know. Like.
Oh my goodness.
Look, I will always go back to my boy band era, the late 90s, early 2000s, the boy bands. And not even just the boy bands, like everything that surrounded that.
That sound.
A great time.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
so I have to admit, and this is something that I recently realized was a guilty pleasure of mine, is exactly that boy band thing, because of Trolls Band Together.
Oh,
Just
really?
putting it out there. If you guys have seen the movie, it's about boy bands, and there's like these mashups throughout the movie of like New Kids on the Block and NSYNC and like all of those guys. So like
so funny.
I'm watching the movie with my kids, and I was like so happy the whole time. I'm like, this is the best thing ever. My kids are like, Mom, what's wrong with you? You're having so much fun. But like it like opened up this like can of worms where I was like, now I have to show you every single song in its original format,
exactly.
so that you can see where this came from. Like I was showing my kids live NSYNC videos the other day, like of them in concert, because that's where I'm at with this. And they were just like, okay, Mom,
We get it.
I've seen a song. I think we can move on. I'm like, okay, why am I doing this?
But I think everything that we've identified so far is one portion of the guilty pleasure thing,
Yes.
where it's just like, we should be past it. We should be like, that was for when we were younger. That was when we were children. That was like, you should want to try new things. You should want to like, and it's not to say that that's incorrect, but like, why do we create this imperative of like, you can't like that anymore. You can't return to that anymore. It's just like, this isn't like the Velveteen Rabbit. Like it's not burned. Like our childhoods aren't gone,
Right.
or the people we were are not gone.
Sure.
Well, and I think that stems from a devaluing of childhood and of those experiences.
Like you're supposed to just like come of age.
You're
and
supposed to grow up
leave
and
all of that
get
stuff
over it.
behind.
Yeah.
And it's like a big part of my late 20s and now my 30s so far has been reconnecting with things that I liked as a kid and being like, I don't need to feel bad about this.
No.
Like, I got back into video games playing the video game that I played in high school.
Right.
And then all of the sequels that have come out since.
Right.
I revisit the books that I read, the TV shows that I watched on Nickelodeon or on Disney Channel, like as a kid. And I'm just like, these are great. Like this was why did I feel like I couldn't do this anymore? That was silly.
Yeah, it is. It is really silly.
Because I think that I'm also in my 30s now, and so I think too, like, the more that the older I've gotten, the more I realize I haven't changed. The person I am has deepened.
Yeah.
And so I don't think that it's useful for me to deny some of those tendencies or interests or, like predilections for the things that I like or what I connect with or what I enjoy.
Sure. I agree with that. I mean, the movie Labyrinth for me is like the holy grail of all things. Mm-hmm. It is my favorite movie. It always has been my favorite movie. Yes, I have darker favorite movies, but like if we're talking about like the one, Labyrinth is it.
Yeah.
I will tell you every single word and sing every song and dance in my living room, and that is fine. It is fine, people.
Me with
It
the
is
Princess
fine.
Bride.
It is fine, and it's an excellent choice for your favorite movie. I think so too.
Anybody else have like, what is your nostalgia favorite thing that like you just can't let go of?
Oh, I'm like plumbing the depths now. Like, what's like my rooted like memories? Give me a second, I'll have to think.
I have my list of like the off-kilter Disney favorites that are personally mine, and I say Disney favorites, but like they're not all Disney; they're just all animated. But like The Great Mouse Detective
Oh, cool.
and Cats Don't Dance,
Okay.
that I will rewatch for the rest of my life.
Nice.
That I'll return to easily every other month.
Okay. Cute.
I was a Disney princess kid, so like any of the princess movies will go on in the background. But my big one for Disney is Hercules.
I was going to say Hercules. I was
all
going
the
to
time,
say
and I'm like,
Hercules.
I know that we have mixed Roman and Greek here. I know that we have Disneyfied this, and I simply do not care because I love this movie and I love the music in it, and it goes on in the background of my life constantly.
I remember seeing it when I was little, and I remember being so impressed with Meg.
I still am impressed with Meg.
I'm so impressed with Meg, and like being such a nerd and fan of Greek mythology and the way those stories were told. As an adult, I have to rewatch Hercules. I love Hercules, but I'm like, all of these facts are incorrect. But like, it's fine. Just stop, and it's
Just roll with it.
Roll with it.
Take it for what it is.
When Killian and I had the house together, my bedroom shared a wall with the wall that we had the TV mounted on. And there were two movies that would play constantly that I would every time come out of my room to watch, and they were Hercules and Rodgers and Hammerstein's Cinderella with Brandy.
Oh, I love that.
Yep.
That's awesome.
Those were the two, and they were on constantly, and I was just as here for it.
Go ahead.
I spent some time writing columns for a magazine about color guard, and I would it would be like, okay, my deadline is right here, so now I can finally write this. But it'd be like 2 a.m, and I'd be sitting in the living room, because if I went in my bedroom, I'd fall asleep. So I'd be on my laptop in the living room on the couch, and I would turn Hercules on and just like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Like, what do you think I'm doing?
Yeah.
And then I'd come out and watch.
Yep.
Hercules, and then another one that I really loved that no one else I talked to actually likes this movie is The Road to El Dorado.
I
No one
love
likes that.
movie. Who
Yes,
have you been talking to?
I love The Road to El Dorado. Both Kenneth Branagh and Kevin Kline have both played Hamlet. It's an adaptation of The Man Who Would Be King. It's fabulous. It is so good.
I had no concept that it was an adaptation.
It is so good, and it is so I love that movie, and it is one of my favorite tropes in all of storytelling, like dudes on adventures.
Yes.
Like dudes, and like we're dudes and we're on adventures, and it's one of my favorite things. And I remember seeing it and being like, oh, this is my favorite thing in the world. It's so good, and that's one of the ones that I like. It's like The Road to El Dorado, like I'll return to.
The gif of the whole both sequence
Yes,
is one of my
both
most
is
used
good.
things.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah, I love
for
it.
that alone.
Yes. Oh, and another thing that my video games slightly related, like The Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time, where I would watch my brother play it, and I'd be like, can we play Zelda? Meaning, will you play Zelda while I watch? And so he would play it, and then we eventually finished it, and I was like, cool, we can start it again now. Mm-hmm. He's like, we just finished it. I'm like, that doesn't matter. We can start it again now. Like it's it's the same concept.
My high school video game was Kingdom Hearts.
Oh yeah.
But then I have recently gotten more into like vintage consoles and things like that, and I bought an N64, and I now have N64 Pokemon Snap, and it is taking me back to this time. I did not have an N64 as a kid, but a kid that I babysat for did. And so when I babysat, we would play Pokemon Snap, and now I can play it anytime. And like they came out with the new version on Switch, and it's good. I had a good time with it. But like the nostalgia of the N64 graphics now on my giant TV, which distorts them even more, just delightful.
The N64 was one of the first objects that my brother ever bought with his allowance, and it was Mario 64 and Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time, and that is a deeply rooted, like very cherished childhood memory for me, is watching my brother play those games.
I mean, for me, it was the original Nintendo Super Mario Brothers.
Oh, yeah.
And just playing that, and we still have the console, and it's at our cabin. So like when we go up north, we play Super Mario Brothers, and the kids, it's so funny because they're pretty good at playing video games, but like they don't know how to play like old school Nintendo. So I'm like, here's the controllers, have fun,
Figure it out. Yeah.
And they literally die like 45 times. It's just like dead, dead. Oh, we have to start over again, but they still want to keep playing, and it's just so cute.
Well,
so
and that's
awesome.
something we ran into doing the vintage video game program that we did. video games did not used to give you this whole tutorial of exactly how to play. It was just like, here you go.
Figure it
You're on
out,
your
yeah.
own.
Yeah.
And so you played the same like chunk of it 20 times and
Until you
just
figured
getting a
it
little
out.
bit further every time as you figured out, how does this work?
And that's not
Yeah.
to mention like all of like the little secret things that you can do in that game too that like you don't know. So like they'll be like, Mom, will you play? I'm like, sure, let me play. So I sit there and then I'll do like all the secret portals and all the things.
entirety
and
of
they're
the
like,
Star World.
Mom, you're a magician. And I'm like, yes, I've played this so many
Yeah.
times when I was a kid.
Yeah.
It's great. What about escapism? Like, what do we like just because it takes us out of our everyday stuff?
Oh.
I mean, I'm thinking like reality TV
That's
shows,
what that's
like
kinda
that
where I
kind
was
of
going
thing,
for,
where I'm
yeah.
like, this person has a very different experience than what I'm experiencing, and I'm here for it.
I'm doing a rewatch of the old Project Runway seasons now.
Okay. Yeah.
Exactly for that. It's so weird to see like what was fashionable in 2004. I'm not fashionable now, but certainly not in 2004.
Does anybody? I mean,
Santino Rice
Well-
was fashionable in 2004.
Yes, that's true.
But it's been a lot of fun to like go back into that old
yeah.
set.
Yeah.
Cool. That's like a chunk of time.
Yeah, exactly.
It's very
Yes,
interesting, like a time
yes.
capsule.
And like I'll do that a lot with some of the reality shows that I like, but all of those are like the Survivors and the Amazing Races, and there are like snippets of time periods. But Project Runway specifically is like, oh, this is an era.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
See, and for me, like the reality TV stuff is not escapist at all.
Okay.
That is like stressful to me, to be honest.
Oh no.
Like I still there's things that I like and things that I don't. But that is the yes, please stress me out for some other reason that is not. So maybe it is a little escapist.
Yeah.
It
It's
just stress me out differently.
Different kind.
It's almost maybe this is this what you mean, because I might have a similar feeling where anything that's a competition, I'm like, oh no, like I am feeling like secondhand existential dread for you, like to the point like I can't watch the Olympics because I want them all to win, and I want everybody to win, and I'm scared that they're gonna be sad if they don't get a gold medal, and I can't like, and they're trying so hard, and it's like you've done so much, like you just really want to be here on Ink Master or whatever, and you've put in so many hours, like I can't. And I am a really anxious person, so it's just like I'm transferring my anxiety onto this person in a moment that has been taped, and the moment's over. It's
Yeah,
not actively
no, it's
happening,
long gone.
but I'm watching it like it's going on immediately right now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like my anxiety can somehow bolster them. Like, what are you doing? No, it makes no sense.
See, I'm competitive, so like I don't necessarily get that. I do get secondhand embarrassment really badly, and so like it can be
yeah.
really difficult to watch like those moments where it's like, okay, they have put this in specifically because it was an embarrassing moment
Yes.
for this person, and I'm like,
yes.
oh no, I don't. This is uncomfortable. Or like when someone on a show is getting very anxious about what's going on in it,
Yeah.
I have a hard time with that.
I live for those moments.
I know you do. My thing often, especially for things like Drew and I watch Drag Race or anything
yeah.
that's competitive, where it's a like question of tastes being different or
That's-
anything, I will get very mad if people make the wrong decisions.
I do too.
Because I'm like, I am correct and you are wrong.
Yeah, no,
And
you're
it's like,
wrong and I'm right. Yeah.
I get this, but also I'll get really upset about it.
No, I agree.
What about things that like you can't pass up? So let's say Netflix or any streaming channel. Like, what is like? Is there a topic that you just can't, like, you have to watch it every single time? I'll go first. For example, the Egypt documentaries. If something pops up on Netflix that's new and it's about Egypt, like, I'm like, well, this is what we're doing today. I don't know why. I feel like I've seen that one Egyptian gentleman who's like the leading authority of all the things over there. I've seen him a billion times. I've seen all the tombs. I don't know what's left, but I still can't help it. I'm like, I want to go into that world.
See, I have zero context for this, but I am fascinated by it. Like, what is it? Like, what is it about? So tell me. So give me the pitch of like, what is this? What is the content itself, and why does it captivate you so much?
Something about like just exploring these places that people have never seen before. You know what I mean? And then the mythology and like all of the good like historical stuff that comes into it.
Yeah.
It makes it very interesting. I don't know. The Egyptians were like just very intriguing people, and finding out like the dirt. Like there were like soap opera things going on in primitive time, and like it's good. Like you're hearing all these stories and what happened, and so killed this person, and then they, you know, like cleanse the earth of their name so you never see them again. And here's the tomb, everybody.
This is. I have to now go down this rabbit hole with you because it sounds amazing. I feel that way about anything like Greek mythology related. Where I'll listen to like podcasts about like it's to me it's sort of like the root of storytelling. Or at least in my own conception of like a lot of these stories or a lot of the material that I really enjoy, I can like trace the root back to something. And I don't know if that's just like me being like, look, it's all connected, but I have that same fascination. Similar, and there's a lot of like soap opera drama in Greek mythology.
There very much is.
Yeah.
So I don't browse my streaming services all that often. Usually if I'm opening one of them up, I know what I'm going in to watch, because otherwise I'm not in there, I'm doing something else. So I only find things on those if people are talking about it.
Okay.
But like if people are talking about something a lot, I get that like FOMO, and I need to know what it is. I need to know about it.
Yeah. I know what you mean.
And so if people are talking about it on TikTok, even if it's like people are saying bad things about it, I'm like, I must understand. I need to form opinions for myself. So that's kind of how I end up on streaming services finding things.
And a lot of that happens in our back rooms, right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
'Cause we work with
yes.
other librarians and other people that are like pop culture junkies, and so they'll come in and they'll say, "Oh my God, did anybody see
X, Y, and
Has
Z,
anybody watched Our Flag Means Death?" I mean, that was like a topic for conversation. Has anybody read the series? Like, and all of a sudden, if you want to be part of the conversation, then you go home and you get right to it so that you can be part of the conversation next week or whenever it comes back up again.
Yes.
Everyone just has so many varied tastes, and I'm like, I don't have time to pursue all of these, and then you get stuck in a cycle of that too. It's like, okay then.
I know for me, I'll dive back into my niche of reality competitions.
Okay.
It's my world. Every time I see a new one, especially ones that are like based on the skill that they come in with.
Yeah.
I find that so fascinating.
Yeah.
Like, even the ones that have nothing to do with interests I would ever have. Like, I love Tough as Nails. It's a show of like craftsmen who come in and do like dirty jobs, and they're competing to do them well and quickly, and it's fascinating to me. And these are things that I would never function in or interact with in my life, but these people came in and they're very good at what they do, and I like seeing people who are very good at what they do.
Yeah. No, I agree.
I mean, I think there was a reality show that was all about florists, like people that take flowers and make things out of flowers. And I was like, I like flowers. I cannot do anything with them. I mean, besides plant them and grow them. But like, I thought that was so interesting that they're making sculptures out of flowers and they're doing all of these really interesting things. That's a topic that I never thought I'd be wasting. I'm not wasting my time, but like delving into specifically, spending 12 hours of my time watching the show.
But that's interesting though. Is once again we've identified like, oh, it's wasting time. It's wasting, it's just like, so we're back to that idea of I mean, I do it too. It's just like
It's kind of built in.
I think
it's a cultural thing.
It must be.
Well, and it's interesting to see the things that become those guilty pleasure things that people talk about, because not always, but often they're associated with, like we said earlier, kids, or a lot of times they're associated with things that are women's things, for like lack of a better way to say it. And like anybody can enjoy those things, but it's mostly women like this, mostly kids like this. Like there's so many people who say it better than I can about how teenage girls drive trends in the world.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
Before something is cool, teenage girls like it, and then they get all of this crap from the world about how it's so frivolous and silly. Like, Twilight was a wildly successful franchise, but people hated on it because teenage girls liked it.
Yeah.
And, like, there are reasons to dislike Twilight, but there are reasons to like Twilight.
Yeah.
And you can like what you like. Sure. But you also see it with the boy bands era. People are like, oh, these boy bands are so, like, ridiculous. Who are the main fans of boy bands?
They're supposed
teenage girls.
Yeah. And they're supposed to be kind of ridiculous in a way. I'm sure they took themselves very seriously, but, like, honestly.
But when you think about that, that's a really excellent point, though, is when you think about boy bands and the eye rolling that occurs with boy bands, we must not forget that the Beatles on the Ed Sullivan Show were almost drowned out by screaming teenage girls. And the Beatles
Are the Beatles.
Yeah.
And similarly but differently, I Want It That Way by the Backstreet Boys is a cultural icon of a song.
It's an anthem.
Yes.
A reset, if you will.
They play it at weddings now.
Yeah.
It's a big deal. And so it's like, we cannot, you can like what you like, and that's not at all what I'm saying, but I don't know that it is useful to pretend that the Beatles were not a boy band.
Right.
But we don't like the Backstreet Boys because they're just a boy band.
Yeah.
Like, it's, you can and cannot have both.
Well,
Because,
let's be honest, they're still very rich. They're richer than the people that are
They're still
that are
incredibly
complaining
popular.
about them.
That is,
Like,
you know
yeah,
what? You are not
absolutely.
wrong.
The calls
I
for...
don't think they're worried about the person who's sitting at home going, "Oh, these boy bands are so awful."
Totally, yeah.
Totally fine.
And you see it in other spaces, too. You see it in books. You see it in publishing where, like, a lot of times things that are written by men get the literary fiction title. If it's written by a woman, it's women's fiction.
Or chick lit if they're going to be rude.
Yeah.
Oh, chick lit. I remember those days.
Oh, yeah, that's so funny, too, because you have, like, the Bronte sisters who wrote under masculine pseudonyms, but also novels were for women. You know what I mean? Like, it was just like, oh, you're wasting your time reading that novel. You should be doing embroidery instead. Like, and it's like, but novels were predominantly written by men at the time. So which one is it?
Yeah, which
you know what I
one
mean?
do
Like,
you
which,
want
like,
here?
yeah. It's
Yeah.
interesting. It's really interesting.
When we talked about video games earlier, there's conversations about what makes a gamer. And you get a lot of, if you just play The Sims and Animal Crossing, you're not a gamer.
Yeah.
You're only a gamer if you're playing Call of Duty or I don't know. I don't know what. I play The Sims. I also play, like, Dead by Daylight and stuff. I play a lot of things, but I think there's a lot of tendency to girls play this, therefore it's not gaming. Or this isn't highly competitive, so this is not gaming. And it gets into a weird conversation.
I wonder if so much of it, and I think we kind of touched on this earlier, but I wonder if so much of the guilt and guilty pleasures comes strictly from the identity that we think we're supposed to have. Where we have to be adults, we have to be serious readers, we have to be serious gamers, we have to be, this is how I want to present myself to the world, you know, like, and it's all of that, and anything that's outside of that conception, anything that's outside of the way that you feel you should be showing yourself, the things that you think you should enjoy, are shameful, and we must hide those, and we can't enjoy those, and it's all image. It's all the image.
To be fair, I'm a very serious simmer.
Well, you know what? Honestly, and that should be celebrated, truthfully.
No, I definitely get your point. With I read a lot of romance books lately, and there are some tropes in them that I'm like, oh, past me would feel a lot of shame about this. Or like, I probably shouldn't be enjoying this as much as I am. But it's a very tongue-in-cheek guilty pleasure moment now where, like, I'll bully myself as a little treat and then post it on Goodreads anyway and, like, celebrate the fact that I've enjoyed this.
Totally. Yeah. Well, you know, we start off as kids who don't feel guilty about anything because why would they?
Yeah.
Which is pretty awesome.
Yeah.
And then we get older and it's the same thing where we stop literally caring what other people think about us. So like we start off right, we end right. Like let's just get it together in the middle. Right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well,
exactly.
and think about the time that you could spend on things that you truly love if you didn't spend that chunk of time in the middle avoiding them because you felt bad about it. Like,
Oh, absolutely.
I think we'd all be happier people.
Yeah, definitely. I think that's very well said.
Okay, so I guess the takeaway from this today is you should definitely embrace your guilty pleasures. Let's stop calling it that because I think we don't need that anymore. And find the joy in the things that make you happy.
It's okay to like things. Embrace it.
Yes.
Period.
Absolutely. Thank you for joining us for this episode of Distracted Librarians.
If you have any questions or suggestions, feel free to reach out to us at distracted@btpl.org.
Until then, keep those pages turning and those screens lighting up.
We'll catch you in the next episode.